Behind the brilliant minds that have penned some of the world's most memorable literature lies a surprising truth. These authors, celebrated for their words, often lived lives marked by controversy and crime. Today, we explore the top 10 famous authors whose criminal pasts are as fascinating as their written works. 10. Jordan Belfort, The Real Wolf of Wall Street. Known for his best-selling memoir, The Wolf of Wall Street, Jordan Belfort's criminal history is no secret. Before becoming a celebrated author and motivational speaker, Belfort was convicted of stock market fraud and money laundering, defrauding investors out of millions. After serving time in prison, he turned his life around and chronicled his rise and fall in his book, later adapted into a blockbuster film starring Leonardo DiCaprio. 9. O. Henry, William Sidney Porter, The Short Story. Maestro. Beloved for his twist endings, O. Henry's stories captivate readers worldwide. However, before his literary fame, he served 3 years in prison for embezzlement while working as a bank teller. It was during his incarceration that he began writing, turning his sentence into a creative opportunity. 8. Frank Abagnale, Catch Him If You Can. Frank Abagnale, the subject of the hit movie Catch Me If You Can, lived a life of crime before turning to a life of storytelling. A master forger and con artist, Abagnale evaded authorities for years, committing fraud worth millions. Following his eventual arrest, he reinvented himself as an FBI consultant and penned his memoir detailing his incredible exploits. 7th. Anne Perry, Juliet Hume, From Murder to Mystery. Anne Perry, a celebrated crime novelist, has a dark past. As a teenager in New Zealand, she was convicted of aiding in the murder of her best friend's mother. After serving her sentence, she changed her name and built a successful career, writing gripping murder mysteries, a genre that eerily parallels her history. 6. William S. Burroughs, A Beat Generation. Tragedy. Renowned as a leading voice of the Beat Generation, William S. Burroughs accidentally killed his wife during a drunken game of William Tell. This tragic incident haunted him for the rest of his life, influencing much of his later work. His most famous book, Naked Lunch, reflects the chaotic and turbulent nature of his existence. 5. Jack Henry Abbott, A Prisoner's Pen. Jack Henry Abbott's literary fame came within the belly of the beast, a harrowing account of life in prison. However, his release was short-lived. After gaining acclaim, he was convicted of manslaughter just 6 weeks later. Abbott's story serves as a cautionary tale of redemption gone wrong. 4. Norman Mailer, A Violent Genius. Pulitzer Prize-winning author Norman Mailer is as famous for his literary accomplishments as for his volatile personal life. In 1960, he stabbed his wife during a heated argument, an incident that nearly derailed his career. Despite this, Mailer continued to produce acclaimed works, cementing his place in literary history. 3. Jean Genet, From Thief to Theater Icon. French playwright Jean Genet spent much of his early life in prison for theft and vagrancy. His experiences behind bars deeply influenced his work, with plays like The Balcony and The Maids exploring themes of power and morality. Genet's transformation from criminal to literary icon remains one of the most remarkable stories in the literary world. 2. Paul Verlaine, Poetry and Passion. Turned violent. French poet Paul Verlaine's tumultuous relationship with Arthur Rimbaud culminated in a violent altercation, during which Verlaine shot and injured Rimbaud. He served 2 years in prison for the act. Despite this, Verlaine's poetry remains some of the most celebrated in French literature. 1. Marquis de Sade, The Controversial Libertine. Marquis de Sade's name is synonymous with sadism, a term derived from his own life and writings. His explicit works shocked 18th-century society, and his numerous arrests for debauchery, violence, and obscenity earned him years in prison. Despite his criminal history, de Sade's influence on literature and philosophy is undeniable. making him one of the most polarizing figures in literary history. These authors remind us that the human experience is complex and multifaceted. Their lives, marked by brilliance and blemish, have shaped their legacies, leaving us with stories that continue to intrigue, inspire, and sometimes shock. What do you think? Can a troubled past overshadow literary greatness? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more fascinating tales of creativity and controversy.